All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It's our after show mixer. It's Jesse, MJ, and the one, the only America's Chief Entertaining Officer, Mr. Tim Laird.
Hello, Jesse and MJ. Here we are, cocktail time, right?
Woo!
My
Best
favorite
time
time.
of the day.
Yes, it is. It really is. And what I love about this cocktail, you guys are talking about classic cocktails. I'm going to show you how to elevate the classic Manhattan by just adding one little ingredient. So,
Okay.
traditionally, the Manhattan, three ingredients and a cherry garnish, basically bourbon, sweet vermouth, bitters. And what I like about this cocktail too, it can be served either chilled up neat in a cocktail glass or on the rocks in a rocks tumbler. So I'm going to do this one on the rocks, make it very simple and easy, and give you one extra ingredient that's going to take this to the next level. So traditionally starts out with 2 ounces of bourbon. And, some places like Wisconsin uses brandy. A lot of places use American whiskey, but in Kentucky, it's bourbon. So, and then I use 3/4 of an ounce to an ounce. I like to do an ounce of sweet vermouth. And the kicker here is use a good vermouth. I mean, there's either French or Italian. There's some really nice ones out there. Because you're using good bourbon, don't skimp on the sweet vermouth. And of course, a couple of dashes of bitters that needs to go in. And now we're elevating this by adding just about a teaspoon of cherry cocktail syrup. So you can buy this at the party store. Oh, it smells really good. But I just used like your bar spoon, just a little bit of that. So it's about a teaspoon. That's all you need. Give that a good stir. And also, don't skimp on your cherry garnish. Get the good garnishes, not those bright red sundae cherries. No, save that for the ice cream, not the cocktail. Boom, right in. There it is. We're going to elevate the Manhattan through just that one little bit of cherry syrup, and we'll see how we did. It's so good. It is so good. Because I really love a Manhattan. Like you guys said before, classic cocktail. Got to have the bitters. It's a must. Don't leave that out. And just keep it simple. That's all there is to it.
Now, what was it? You say that you get a Manhattan, and what was it that you got confused from time to time? It was a Manhattan and what?
An old fashioned, a Manhattan and an old fashioned. I get them back. I get them confused sometimes because those aren't my drinks necessarily. I don't order them that often. So, but that looks really good.
It really is good. And just with that little bit of cherry in there. And the other thing is, another secret here is make sure your cherry is chilled, because you know what? I mean, if you go through the trouble of chilling everything down, like I gave it a good stir, you want to make sure that your cherry is chilled too, because otherwise it'll warm it up a little bit. You don't want that. So keep everything chilled, and it's a good thing.
Cold cherry, ice cold. That's what you want. You want chilled cherries. Nobody.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
No. And quality.
Quality.
Right. Don't use those ice cream cherries.
No.
They look fun. Those bright red. And I don't know what's in that dye. Cherries aren't really like that, are they? Are they really that color? I've never seen like
I don't think
that
so.
color.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's got to be some chemicals involved in that thing, don't you think? I mean, it's just not right.
No, nothing but organic cocktails. No chemicals in here. No nasty stuff. We want nothing but the best.
And use a good vermouth. That's the other thing that happens too. You don't buy the big bottles. If you're not going to use a lot of vermouth, whether it be dry for martinis or sweet for Manhattans and other cocktails, buy the little bottle, because these do have a shelf life. And a lot of times if I go to a bar or restaurant, and if they don't make a lot of Manhattans and I ask for a Manhattan, they usually bring out this old bottle that's been sitting, on the shelf.
Oh yeah, no.
And that's where it goes bad, because you can't blame the bourbon, but the vermouth can go bad. So buy the small bottles, keep it chilled in the refrigerator. Another tip for you.
I've never made a cocktail with vermouth before in that, because I'm not a big martini person, so I don't know that I've ever purchased vermouth.
Well, you don't have to then. You won't if you don't use it. Don't.
Like in Manhattan, it's just one of those things. It's never been. Never been on my radar. It's like, intimidation. I guess is one of those things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of funny that category, the vermouth category, they call it bitters. Not this kind of bitters, but a bittered fortified wine, if you will. Is really coming back because people are using it just to sip on. It's a low alcohol and it settles the stomach. So they call it a digestiva. So it'll actually, they'll either have it as an aperitif, which would be before lunch or dinner, well, dinner, I should say, or you have it as a digestive that helps digestion after dinner. So that category is really booming. I mean, so it's interesting to see, but and of course bitters
it's like
are
a health
back now.
drink.
It is.
Who knew?
My! I better give this another try. Just
that drink. That drink is sat there long. That's really interesting. Like I said, I've had Manhattans before, but it's not a cocktail that I make at home. But watching the beautiful thing about this and all the other cocktail videos that we've made, you make it look so easy. And as someone who has made about 85% of the drinks that you've shown us how to make, it is. It is,
and it's classic. It's just one of those. It's funny because the Manhattans were popular before Prohibition, and they're still very popular today. So, and the old fashioned, of course, too, very popular today. And that's why a lot of bars are now going through a lot of bitters now. So it used to be the bitters would stay on the shelf forever and not get used in most bars and restaurants. But now with the demand coming back on Manhattans and old fashions, they're using a lot of bitters.
Awesome. I know, MJ, you're like, huh, I learned something today.
I know. Well, it is. It's interesting. I mean, it's cyclical. There's trends, just like in fashion and anything else, with whatever the hot drink is for the season. So that's interesting. I find it kind of hilarious though that the digestives that since we've all been at home stuffing ourselves, for so long, that now this is come back into style.
By the way, I read today that your average dog has put on 7 pounds since the pandemic. Dog too. So Tim, maybe you don't have a dog. Tell your wife that. See, look, if we'd had a dog this whole time, that dog would be overweight, and then what
would happen?
Be a problem.
So wrong.
Interesting statistic. It's not just us; the dogs are gaining weight too.
Yeah. By the way, your wife is still sending me pictures of the sweet dog.
Look at the face.
Oh,
cute.
Oh, I'm doomed.
You are doomed.
Yep.
You are doomed. What? You know what?
Get used to the idea.
You know what though? This could open up a whole new category of naming cocktails for you. You could start naming cocktails after your dog, all of that good stuff. Hey, I was taking my dog for a walk and I had an inspiration for a cocktail. Tim, this is the next chapter in Tim Laird's story.
There you go.
There could be a whole chapter, a new chapter. Absolutely.
You are the king of entertaining. So it's not just cocktails, it's entertaining. Pet friendly.
That's true.
This is a new product category for you, Tim. I mean, come on now. I can't do the work for you. You need to get the dog for R&D.
Oh. Can I write it off then? Is that
I mean, come up with some kind of like bourbon infused kibble and you're good. That's I don't know if that works. I know they have CBD treats for dogs now. I don't know if you can do that with bourbon. I don't know.
This is the parental advice portion of the show.
Right. Save the bourbon for the adults, please. No pets allowed.
No. We're gonna get so much hate mail from Pete on this.
I know. No.
Well, whether it be a classic cocktail like the Manhattan with a new twist, whatever, all these recipes, for these cocktails, you always find them in the information section of the video on our YouTube channel, which if you're watching this, please like and subscribe. We've got at least one new video that comes up a week, plus Tim's got all the other ones up here. We greatly appreciate it. And by the way, you can also catch these on Fridays and Mondays on our show Mixed Mornings with Jesse and MJ in Louisville. So lots of fun stuff, lots of different ways to catch Tim. Tim, next time we talk to Milwaukee, we're going to be talking, I think we're talking Thunder.
Thunder. Yes. I better get the Thunder cocktails going.
I know, it's crazy. You know, you have to dust all that off because, you know, we didn't get to do it. We were thundering,
Right.
but not necessarily in the most fun way. At least this year we get fireworks.
Yeah.
So
Great.
we'll talk all that fun stuff. It'll feel a little bit more like normal. Isn't that great?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, until then, cheers, Tim.
Cheers.